You and some others believe it's not going to be enough, obviously, and more is necessary. Tell me a little bit about the proposed bill and why you believe that's important.
Well, my plan puts $2,000 in every individual's pocket every month until the unemployment rate goes down to where it was before the virus hit. And that means people that are 16, 17, 18 years old in college, you can be a dependent on your parents' taxes and still get the $2,000 if you're over 16. And then the parents will also get a $500 check for every dependent that they have as well. This is for everybody that makes less than $260,000 a year. So it's more robust than the current program that's being run. It extends longer than the current program, and it affects a lot more people like these college kids who otherwise would be out working, but now are stuck at home. There's so many people out there that are having deep economic anxiety. We see retail workers and food service workers that are working extra hours, need more child care. They have their kids home from school, but they're working swing shifts. I mean, there's a lot of economic anxiety for all these people that are out there.
Gotcha. Obviously, the first thing a lot of people ask is how can we afford that as a country? Is that something that's doable?
Look, we're in the middle of a deep national recession, and we're trying to prevent it from it becoming a depression. And so the economy's losing 20, 30 trillion dollars a year. So if we're going to put, hundreds of billions or a couple of trillion dollars into people's pockets, it's going to help support the effort, and it's going to help support the recovery as well. I mean, we're never going to get the economy back going again if people are defaulting on their mortgages, if their bills aren't getting paid, if they're going bankrupt, all of these things. We can't allow that to happen.
Gotcha. Where does this plan come from? Is this it seems like this is something that mirrors more of what we've seen in some other countries. Is that where the inspiration, so to speak, came from, or is this something that you just thought was necessary on your own without seeing others do it?
Well, there's always been talk of cash payments or universal basic income, these kinds of things. And this is an opportunity for us, I think, in a national emergency to both help the American people and explore some of these options that may be out there. And just direct cash payments, sustaining people in a time of great need, I think makes a lot of sense. There are a lot of different versions of this. We limited it to people under $260,000 a year, couples under $260,000 a year. So it's not universal, but it is directly targeted to families who need the help.
Gotcha. Now, of course, I have to ask about the timetable for when these payments, if they were to start, when would they end? Because I know there was a fear by some who say, well, why would I go back to work if I'm getting a $2,000 payment to sit at home?
Yeah, well, this would end when the unemployment rate gets to the level that it was pre-coronavirus. So it would make sure that the economy's back up and running, people are back up and running, families are back up and running, and we resume the normal order of business. And then, we can start dropping these payments off for people. But, this is revealing in the United States the deep economic anxiety that I've been talking about for a long time. When something like this happens, boy, it really gets exposed. The digital divide with our schools, the economic anxiety, the pressures that are on healthcare workers, the lack of pay for so many people working in the food industry, retail industry.
How much would a plan like this cost? It seems to be more ambitious than the first round.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be into the trillions of dollars. But again, when you look at that on the whole, on the scale of what the economic problems are, that's into the tens of trillions of dollars that the American economy is getting hit with, the hole that we have in our economy. So putting a few $1 trillion in the pockets of the American people, in my estimation, is the best way to do it. The idea that you cut taxes for corporations and you cut taxes for all the big dogs and hope that trickles down to help the average person, just not working. Hasn't worked for 30 years. And so this is trying to hit the reset button a little bit. But again, when you take the couple $1 trillion, maybe even every few months that this thing would cost versus the huge multi-trillion-dollar holes, tens of trillions of dollars, if not hundreds of trillions of dollars of a hole in the American and global economy, this is a drop in the bucket, but will help a lot of people in the process.
Gotcha. Obviously, you have another partner on this bill, but widespread, what does support look like for a bill like this? What are others saying?
Well, when we first started this discussion 4 or 5 weeks ago about direct cash payments, I was pleasantly surprised that people like Republicans like Mitt Romney and Tom Cotton and other senators, Republican senators, came on board and said, "Yeah, we need a direct cash payment. It's a one-time payment." But we got into the conversation, and my hope is as we move forward on new packages with an emergency supplemental and potentially another bigger CARES package, that some version of this will be included to be consistent over the next few months, and a little bit of a bigger boost for people up to $2,000 and helping college kids and all the rest. So I think that they acknowledge that it's an effective way to get support to the American people.
Assuming everything goes as you would like it to be. Let's say this bill runs through, it gets passed, it gets full support on the Senate side, it gets signed. What's the complete timetable on when somebody could see money in their pocket, or is there just too many variables to even talk about that?
Well, I think once the bill is signed and we recognize that this is a priority for us, I think it would be a few weeks, especially after what we just saw happen where we are sending these checks. I think that's important to have that already done. And so we could just really just do the increases and expand who's getting the check. And then in our bill also includes, you could get it through PayPal, you can get pre-debit cards, your prepaid debit cards. So these are other ways that we could get the money to you. So it's not just broadening and then increasing it, it's making sure that everybody out there, people who may not have a bank account, may be able to get this as well.
Congressman, I really appreciate the time.
You got it. Thanks.